All right, I want to thank y'all for coming out for Community Cooking with the Co-op, starring Jamar Ruff, the outreach coordinator at the Coos Head Food Co-op. There's Alexa.
Hello.
I also wanted to announce that Jamar and I have another program next Tuesday night, and you can find more information on the library's calendar at coosbaylibrary.org, but it's called Stay In and Come Out with South Coast Oregon Pride, or I mixed that up.
Southern Oregon Coast Pride.
Thank you. But people are going to be sharing their coming out stories, and we'd love to have more support to support our local LGBT plus community. So please come on out. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jamar Ruff, and we're going to cook some corn chowder. Thank y'all for coming.
Hello. Thank you all for coming. This cooking with the co-op, this community cooking with the co-op is really special this month because it is National Co-op Month. So I just want to highlight that because it is an important thing. It's something that co-ops across the world, across the globe celebrate. Is a national recognition of co-ops and what we are able to do in the community. And this is just one way that co-ops get to engage community. So let's start out. If you have not already, if you want to go ahead and start cutting your potatoes. First, get your pan, add water, and we're gonna boil our potatoes first. So once I add the potatoes to the water, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt. So just drizzle, and then just like a pinch of salt. And how I cut my potatoes up, on the recipe it says bite-sized pieces, but every piece is different. And we're not cooking them till they're all the way well done. We're cooking them al dente because they're gonna cook more once we add them into our corn chowder. And so while you have the potatoes boiling, we're gonna start building our base for our corn chowder.
And I wanted to remind everybody, you can respectfully unmute to ask questions or throw them in the chat box and we'll feed them to Jamar.
How's everybody feeling? It's a little quiet. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start chopping my onions. This is we wanna make sure when we're making our chowder, in the recipe it says to finely chop. Finely chopping is because this chowder is a pretty delicate dish. You know, we want to take our time. You know, we're not going to rough chop anything. We're going to take it really, really slow. But also while you're using your knife, what I've learned is when I'm finely chopping onions, as I'm chopping, if I turn my fingers down where they're facing the knife.
Lift your hand up a little.
Oh, sorry.
If I have it, there we go.
Okay, if I have my fingers like this on the cutting board, it is impossible to cut myself. So take it slow, take your time, and we're trying to make the onions finely chopped. So this is just, we're prepping our onions. We're prepping our green onions as well, and the parsley. And I know the garlic is a lot of garlic. It's a lot of garlic, but when you say like a bowl, if you're getting a bowl of garlic, those are the only things that when I walk into a grocery store that I kind of go to. It's like the whole thing of garlic, and each garlic is different. So I did not know how to I didn't want to confuse anyone. So if you want to use a little bit under a half of cup of minced garlic, cool. If you want to use fresh garlic like I have here, that is awesome as well. But when we peel our garlic, and it's looking like this, I don't know if you can see it. Whenever the garlic is like this, we turn our knife to the side and we pop. We turn our knife to the side and it releases the clove of garlic. And we just press.
One sec, Jamar. Yeah, Susan, in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you can click the view icon and change it to full screen. You're probably in gallery view. And everybody can do that. You can change it to gallery or speaker view in the upper right. Go ahead, Jamar, sorry.
So that is how we do our garlic. I know there's some professional chefs on here that have like prepped everything, which is really awesome. But for those that have not, these are how you do it.
For those that aren't Jamie?
Yeah, no, that is really awesome. That's why I kind of went into detail because of the with the recipe. Because say for instance, chowder, sometimes that can be a little overwhelming to think about. Okay, I have to do all of this, and in the recipe you could actually prep ahead of time, like the day before or earlier in the day. So once I have that, I have my other pot. So right now where we're at is the potatoes are boiling. We have that going. Now I have my other pot, which is going to be my pot where the corn chowder is actually going to be in. So now I'm going to start creating my base, right? Okay, so I'm going to cover the bottom of the pot in olive oil and slow me down, ask questions if needed, okay?
Yes.
And I'm going to turn it up, and that's where I'm going to start sauteing my onions and then also my green onions.
All right, miss in place. What's that mean, Jamie?
Mise en place.
What's that?
Mise en place. It's French for like everything in little dishes and whatnot.
Yes!
Awesome.
So.
Yes!
Appreciate the translation.
That is the phrase of the day.
Mise en place.
Mise en place. Yeah.
Sure.
We have to go with a little bit more enthusiasm. So what I have learned is when I am starting to saute my vegetables, and it's onions and green onions and parsley all involved, what I want to do is I always put my garlic to the side. I never put my garlic in first because garlic can burn easily, and it's delicate. This is a delicate dish, and we're going to take our time. So what we're going to do is build up the flavors, right? So first, I'm going to add my onions.
Everybody add their onions.
Adding my onions. I'm going to add my green onions, and I'm going to hold off on adding my garlic.
Cindy, did you have a question? Go ahead and unmute.
Do I use the whole half cup of olive oil?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever we're using at the coat the bottom of our pan. So you're gonna put that in there?
Yeah, it looked like you put a bit in there.
Mm-hmm. I always do. And I add more. I always start out with like a base of measurements, and then I'm like, okay, I always have extra just in case.
Awesome.
Hey. And so in this recipe, one, we're gonna learn how to make a roux because that's a part of our basis, is making a roux. I grew up making I grew up making that. And sometimes like a roux is can be really, when we think of it, it's like, how do you do that? How do these one, how do you say it? And how do these people make it? You know? But what I find is that it's simple ways. So when I'm making like gumbo or etouffee or something like that, like Creole cooking, my roux is something that I start out with, and you can control the color of your roux as well. But the color in this is going to come directly from the ground smoked paprika.
Ooh.
All right. How's that? Where's everybody at now?
Everybody doing good?
I know I moved a little fast, so.
So do we put the flour into, or just the onion and?
We're not there yet.
No flour yet.
Yeah, once
Okay.
we saute our vegetables, the onions, the green onions, the parsley, then we're gonna add our roux, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
Is this on medium heat or high? I can't remember what you said.
I didn't, thank you, Jamie. You can put it, let's put it on medium heat.
Medium heat.
Yeah, let's go.
Good
medium.
question.
I'm getting some movement in my pot.
Jamar, you want to remind us everything you have in the pot right now?
Okay, so everything that I have right now in my pot is olive oil. I have the green onions and the yellow onions.
Cool, thank you.
And then now I'm starting to get some movement, some bubble action in my pot. Okay, so now I'm gonna add my parsley because we just want to saute everything up together.
Time
And
to
I
add
have
the
not
parsley.
added my garlic yet.
Right. Love the teamwork, y'all.
Hey. Sorry, I have this thing where like I'm facing the store, and if I cannot have people walk past me without saying hello to them, or so if you see me like waving, it's because someone's looking at me.
Because the co-op's open.
Yeah, it is, you know. Okay. And so if I am using whole cloves of garlic, what I do is versus chopping my garlic, I just lightly bruise it a little bit. So I smash it even more so. So it looks like this once I smashed it.
Oh, okay.
How are you, Mark?
I'm doing good.
It's not time when you cook it up.
We're cooking with the
Oh, you're
co.
doing your job.
Hey, it's okay. So now I'm adding the garlic in.
Add the garlic.
And if you feel like it's too much garlic, please add a little bit, and we'll start tasting it, and then we'll add the rest later on. If that makes it a little bit more comfortable. Remember, this is your recipe.
Jamar needs to get an on-air sign.
I think he does have quiet on the set, right?
I know. Yes, I do. I really do. But that doesn't stop it. That doesn't stop it.
Definitely not.
So I added my garlic.
You still got that on a medium heat?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We want to take our time as far as building our base. It's the most important thing, you know. We want to start out really, really awesome, and then it's going to be smooth sailing from there.
Gonna be good.
So as far as the seasonings, what I have is I did a tablespoon of thyme, and then a tablespoon of the ground smoked paprika. And so I have the black pepper. I did a tablespoon, not a tablespoon. I started with a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and then the salt I'm put on the side. I have not added salt yet.
Jamar, Connie wanted to know if that's fresh or dry thyme.
I have dry thyme. You can use fresh thyme as well.
Take your pick.
Connie has an amazing garden, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fresh thyme.
Gonna be fresh.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm adding my seasoning. And I'm still cooking on medium heat. Okay. So the whole color changes. It looks like magic. It's like you're making a magic potion in the bottom of the pot right now.
We need an aerial view, huh?
I know.
Jamie said it smells great.
Uh-huh. So I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, thank you. Nice.
And so, okay, the next step, what we're gonna do is let's add a little bit of salt. So we're gonna start with a little bit first, and then we're gonna taste the chowder while it's building up. So I'm gonna start with a 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
So start with 1/4 of a teaspoon.
When I'm cooking, if I'm tasting my food, I can kind of control the salt. But 9 times out of 10, when you give people plates, they're gonna add salt themselves. And especially if we're cooking with different herbs and things like that, you want all of the flavors to come through and not to be such a salty taste. Especially in soups and chowders, it can easily happen.
Good to know.
Okay. So let's make sure you're checking on your potatoes. If you have your potatoes boiling, let's go ahead and make sure that they're not getting too done, because the goal is to have them al dente.
Did everybody hear that? Check your potatoes. We don't want them past al dente.
What I do is when I have potatoes boiling, I'll get a spoon and I'll press the potato to the side of the inside of the pan. And if it smushes a little bit, then that is going to be your stick. That's going to be like, okay, it's ready. I was trying to say your signal.
But not too mushy.
Right, not too much because it's al dente. You got to think that is going inside of our chowder, so it's going to cook a little bit more.
Right.
Okay, so keep stirring. And what I'm going to do is now I have a third cup of flour. In the ingredients, I put brown rice flour because you can make this gluten-free as well. Right now, we're just making a roux. Okay. And so I'm adding the 1/3 cup of flour.
Add 1/3 cup of flour.
I meant a 1/3 cup of flour, yeah.
Yeah,
Now we're talking a third cup of flour. And we're gonna move that around and let that cook a little bit more. And you see it almost makes a paste. And we're gonna keep, so this is our roux. So now you can tell your friends, I made a roux.
Awesome. Last week it was tzatziki, this week it's roux.
Yes. Okay, and so this is where my veggie stock is gonna come into play. So I measured out exactly 5 cups of veggie stock. And you're gonna see what is gonna happen once you add your veggie stock to the pot.
So both of those are veggie stock totaling 5 cups.
Yes, totaling 5 cups. And so we're gonna okay.
How's everybody doing? Excellent.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is once I add and I have a lid to my pot. What I'm gonna do now is add the corn. I'm gonna add my corn. I use frozen corn. I have a little bit more because I always eat the stack of the co-op. So, look,
Sure, they appreciate it.
I'm gonna add my corn.
So he's adding his corn. Man, I bet that's starting to smell good.
Hey, so I am cleaning while I'm cooking because nobody wants to be doing dishes. Once the food gets done, it's like only thing you want to do is grab a bowl and go to
Eating
the
time.
table. Yes. How's everybody feeling? Do they have any questions? Alexa, I know you came a little late, so how are you doing?
2 thumbs up from Alexa. I think
Okay.
she's good.
Frank, how are you?
We have a Frank?
Frank, Patrick Frank.
Oh, Pat. Patrick's good too.
Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my potatoes.
So we're gonna add the potatoes now. Mm-mm.
And I know you're like, okay, this is chowder. Why are we adding big pieces of potatoes in there? What I like to do, because some people do not have like a blender or something to immerse all of everything together. But what I do is just how we check to see if the potatoes were al dente. I do the same thing with the potatoes, and it allows me to create a different texture, but not getting it. So I can control how small I'm breaking up the potatoes and things like that. So maybe I like control, and this allows me, because I know like if I have an immersive a tool that's gonna blend it up, I'm gonna blend too much. I already know that's just how I am. So, but it still allows us, someone that's new and that is making chowder for the first time, it allows us to make sure that we're comfortable with where the potatoes are and things like that.
You get to create your own texture.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could end up like a smoothie.
Yeah. And so I do have some cream. I have a cup of cream that I'm gonna add. I gotta be really careful.
And you were saying people could use a non-dairy milk there, right?
Yes. You can always change up the recipe. Now with the seasonings and the things that we've added, it's gonna definitely it's gonna change the color all the way. But before we start simmering our corn chowder, we're gonna taste it and see if we need to add a little bit more thyme, if we need to add a little bit more black pepper or salt. Okay. Oh. And this is when we're gonna start pressing our potatoes to the side as well. So as you're tasting it, and once it cooks down, it's gonna become a little bit thicker, and that's where the broken up potatoes come in as well. So I press the potatoes. I'm being gentle. This is a gentle,
It's a delicate dish, right?
Yes. And you know what? Last night, I don't know about anybody, but it was so cold. I was like, I need a bowl of chowder. It was so cold last night.
That fall weather we're getting.
Yes.
Jamar, Richie asked if you know a good dairy substitute for cooking that isn't coconut based, because she's allergic to coconut and has trouble cooking because of that.
Have you tried Folgers? So we have Forgers, not Folgers, Forgers. We have that. It's a plant-based, or you can try a cashew milk or cashew cream.
What's the Forgers?
The Forgers is a cashew. It's a cashew.
Oh, okay.
Cashew, yeah. And
Have you tried cashew, Richie? She said she'll check that out.
Hey, let me know. Come on down to the co-op and I'll give you a personal tour of all the options that we have here. Bye. But the cool thing about this is that being inclusive and this is all about community. You can always find these options everywhere. On our table, we brought in a brand called Cadia. Cadia is still an organic brand, but it's less expensive. It allows everyone to, because when you're thinking like, okay, I'm shopping organic, it can be a little, you can think like, oh, this is a little bit spendy, but when you come to the co-op, we have markdowns and sales going all throughout the whole month, and the Cadia is a really good brand, definitely. So I have this up here, and I also have, say for instance, if you want to use low sodium veggie stock, if you don't make your veggie stock at home, like I do, or the deli does, the co-op does, for our soups we make in-house veggie stock, you can use a low sodium option as well.
Nice.
So I'm still pressing my potatoes, and I need to taste my potatoes. I'm going to taste to see if I need a little bit more salt. I do need a little bit more salt.
So go ahead and give it a taste. See if you need more salt.
And I think what I'm going to do is add a little bit more thyme as well.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to go in with 1 teaspoon.
An extra teaspoon, right?
Yeah. And it's building, what you're doing is building up that flavor. That's why if you would have put in a whole bunch of salt at the beginning, it was like, how can I reverse this? But by you adding it, okay. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit more black pepper as well.
Little extra pepper too.
Mm-hmm. How is it tasting?
Getting lots of thumbs up.
Okay. It's just building that flavor. Salt is just something, when I first started cooking, everything was salty. Every single thing. My mom used to be like, Jamar, like, don't even use it, But as I've started cooking, I'm seeing that I can cook without having it be so prevalent in the dishes that I'm making, and just you're actually able to taste your food.
You can always add more later.
Yeah. Okay.
And for those of you looking for more free recipes, Zion just posted in the chat our A to Z World Food Database. That's free to use with your library card. So check it out. It's got a lot of cool recipes via different countries. It's very cool.
And so at this time, when you get your flavor just right, we're gonna add a lid and let it at least simmer. And we will increase our heat. We want to at least simmer in, by the time, I would say, like, let's just simmer for 10 minutes and then we'll check on it.
We're gonna simmer it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you already have started breaking down your potatoes on the side of your pot. You've added a little bit more flavor, and now it's not done yet, because now we're gonna simmer it and allow everything to just join in holy matrimony.
Hey, Jamar, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So hypothetically, say that you overcooked your potatoes and they're pretty mushy. At what point would you add them? I haven't put mine in yet because they're a little squishy.
It's
Should
okay.
be fine, right?
Go ahead and add them now.
All right.
Because now what you do is you're just not going to have to press them.
Yep.
So you
Perfect.
still, if they're not really mushy, it's okay.
All right.
You can skip the mushing step.
These
Okay.
are the things that we run into when we're just cooking, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Jamar, I gotta ask, where's your carrot?
Oh, I found it. So I don't know if you have noticed, but the co-op got brand new aprons. Everyone got brand new aprons.
Oh,
And I go through aprons. So Yeah, it'll be coming to a local co-op near you soon.
The carrot?
Yes,
Okay.
I gotta bring it back.
Yes, you do.
I had a friend make it for me. She was like, Jamar, you need your carrot. But yeah, it's gonna be returning.
Awesome.
So while we have those while we have our chowder simmering, what we're gonna do is start making our top our garnishes.
Oh, okay.
So
Do you have a lid on the pot right now?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody should be simmering with a with a lid on.
I'm like, yes.
You're like, yes, let me grab that.
Right. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, because I have some pretty hungry folks here, I'm starting to move my stuff over, clear out my space, and have my bowls. So I'm doing 3 bowls. Deb told me, she was like, Jamar, what are you making today? And I told her, and she was like, I'm so glad I'm here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finally chop some parsley, because we are allowing anyone that comes to the table with us to eat with their eyes before they even put a spoon in their bowl, right?
And I gotta share Robert's comment because Jamar can't see the chat. He said Jamar is so awesome. He always makes me smile. I love his cooking class.
Hey.
And for those of you who don't know, Robert's joining us from Utah, right?
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Robert.
Well, I think that was the most important thing of why we Paul came to me and was like, Jamar, hey, what have you thought about cooking classes? And I'm like, oh wow, no, I have not. And right when COVID happened, we had to like put a stop to all of it. And it has really like lifted my spirit and other people's spirits as well, because like when we are isolating in our home and you get to like go in the kitchen, cook along with, not like you don't know us already, you cook along with your neighbors, and it just definitely is a mood changer, okay?
And our community just keeps growing here.
Yes. So because we have our lid on there, let's make sure that we are stirring our pot. We don't want it to burn at the bottom.
So keep stirring while it's simmering.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I was telling Jamar earlier today, I was so stoked when he agreed to my idea to do this because I couldn't have thought of a better person for it.
I'm like, hey, I was like, why not? You know, when everything happened, especially when you are, when you do outreach, and it's like your schedule, like my calendar, like went from fully planned all the way up until December till I don't even want to even put something on there for next week, you know? And I had to look at and say, like, I was not the only person that was experiencing that. I was not the only person going through that or dealing with it, and trying to, you know, be that place here at the co-op in the community where people are coming in, and we started asking them, like, how are you feeling today? And they felt enough, they were able to say, I'm struggling today, you know, I'm not having a good day today. And it's like, well, hey, hang out a little bit with us, you know. That was the awesome thing about being here and being experiencing a pandemic for the first time ever, you know. It's like I would rather experience it with all of y'all.
We appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Okay. So I have my green onions separated from my parsley, because when I plate, I'm going to, okay, so I have this over here. How's everybody looking? Have you tried your, have you seen, do you see a difference in your chowder from when you first put the lid on there?
Everybody see a difference?
And when I'm stirring, always make sure that your spoon hits the bottom of the pan.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Richie said, while happiness is important to life, it's just as important to acknowledge and feel when you are upset. So true. I don't think you can get happy till you acknowledge you're bummed.
Right. Right. You know, but sometimes we get in this place where we feel like we can't say, hey, I'm not doing well and I'm not having a good day. But I think it's important to acknowledge when you aren't having a good day, and that's when you're really able to find some solutions, you know?
Yep, agreed.
That means going in the kitchen or saying, you know what, I'm gonna cook along with Jamar this week. And also feel free when we're leading up to a cooking with Jamar or cooking with the community. If you have any questions about the recipe, please do not hesitate to say, hey, I'm coming into the store to ask you some questions, and you can always ask me at the front and they'll page me over the loudspeaker.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamar. Oh, and I just wanted to let everybody know that we're going to do it on the third Thursday in November and December, so we don't butt up against the holidays. So next month it's going to be on the 19th, and December is going to be that previous Thursday as well. It's on the library calendar. How's everybody's chowder?
Oh, I'm getting excited. I'm definitely that person in the kitchen that's like, you have to say, Jamar, stop opening the oven or step away from it.
Me too, because I'm always hungry.
I have my ladle because we want to make sure like we're plating it a little bit, you know, nicely. And I also want photos. The photos that y'all took last time were amazing.
Totally awesome. Stacy said it looks great. Yes, please email photos to Jamar or me, and we'll probably repost them on Facebook or somewhere else, or use them for posting future programs. Good?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I can't smell it because I'd be going crazy.
You know what? One day you're just gonna have to come down, like run down after the cooking class and be like, okay.
Yes, I
Or
am.
I put it in a bowl.
Awesome.
Put it in the deli.
Very cool. Connie said she didn't have paprika, so she used red peppers and cumin.
Oh.
Nice. That sounds good. She added smoked salt. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Really? We just here at the co-op, we just actually got in black lava smoked salt. And there's other smoked salt. Hey, we have to get you in the kitchen.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
How you doing, Alexa?
Oops. Doing great, Jamar. It smells really good. I don't normally like paprika, but with the right combo, I do. And I think this is the right combo. So
You tasted it?
I did taste it.
Okay.
Surprisingly awesome. Not surprisingly.
Richie might have to come see you though. She wishes she could taste some of that chowder because she didn't get dinner tonight.
Anytime. I told you, you know where I'm at.
We all know where to find you.
Sometimes. No. If they don't, sometimes I come into the store and I'm like, I have like lists. We have a newsletter that we put out, and the goal is to make it sustainable, right? Where we have our members and community members interacting with the co-op and being able to submit articles for our monthly newsletter. And I have one of our members, he wrote up this cheesecake recipe. and he wants to like change it a little bit, you know. And so I came into the co-op with like a note from him saying, "Call me ASAP." And so I called him and I was like, "Well, I'll add it to the newsletter, but you have to at least like bring me in a slice so that way
Yes.
I can try it."
Definitely. You got to know it's good.
Hey, well, last time he let me try it and it was really awesome.
Wow.
It
Can't
was
beat a
really-
good cheesecake.
Hey. So I'm still as I'm starting to stir my chowder, I am still pressing out some of my potatoes as well. Just trying to make sure I have the good consistency.
Texturizing. I don't know if that's a word.
Oh, did I say texturizing?
No, I did.
Oh, well, texturizing is a word, but it's what you do to your hair.
Then I wouldn't know anything about that.
It's like a perm almost.
Definitely wouldn't know anything about that.
Okay.
Everybody doing good? Go on.
That thyme and the color, it just looks really amazing.
Mm.
And so imagine this, say for instance, if you wanted to, like, if I added bacon to this, I would always like chop up the bacon first and then put it on top. I wouldn't probably mix it in, but then also because we live on the coast, I would put some smoked tuna or some smoked salmon in there.
Ooh,
Oh, it would be really, really awesome.
that sounds really good.
Okay. I don't know the temperature outside, but I know when I eat this, it's gonna be really awesome.
I'm sure it will be. Richie said she's always found that mixing bacon into soups makes the bacon soggy. I can see that.
Well, that's what I found as well. I do this thing where I make fried cabbage, and sometimes I add bacon. But I like as a base, I'll do like chopped onions with bacon. But I always remove it because if you put your cabbage on top and then it steams, you lose the texture of the bacon. So what I do is I'll like fry the cabbage and then I'll add bacon. I'll add the bacon and the onions into it like when it's almost done.
That
And
sounds
then you
awesome.
still can taste actually like you can still taste the texture of it.
Can't say I've ever had fried cabbage.
So I'm going to go ahead and start my first bowl. I'm going to remove it off the heat, taste it a little bit. So I already have my bowls ready. And as you can see that it has turned into this nice consistency. After adding the cream, and then breaking down the potatoes a little bit, the texture of the chowder really becomes chowder. And I did not want to blend the corn because I actually loved it when I first made it, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna blend the corn now, and I'm not gonna blend the potatoes, but I will break the potatoes down just enough to size where I can actually taste all of the ingredients. But okay, I'm gonna go for it.
Do it. Connie, you're muted.
Happy dance.
One more time. I think you froze, Connie. Try again. Oh, she said happy dance. Nice. I got you.
So what I'm doing now is I have it in my bowl. I just wiped around the outside of it. One, I got to get it picture perfect, but I'm going to add some of my green onions, and I'm going to sprinkle them around.
For those of you that don't know, Jamar's all about the aesthetics.
Yes. Eat with your eyes. I used to work at a barbecue restaurant, right? And my my boss, because I always used to play, and I had like a big thing with opening the containers, and it's like barbecue sauce and so it's like I felt like that is what represented the actual establishment, you know. So if I'm cooking and I'm representing my kitchen, I want to make sure that when you come, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm coming back.
Nice.
So, okay. So I have my green onions, and then I'm gonna bring it to, and I'm gonna move the
Wait,
camera.
bring it up, Jamar. Ooh, nice. Oh man, I am jealous. Beautiful. Oh.
And just keep going. You just, so as you play, the first play is always kind of like, okay.
Let's eat again, Jamie. Oh, nice job, Cindy and Jamie. Oh, wow. Uh-oh, Stacy didn't cook her potatoes enough, but she said they're cooking after a few minutes. They'll be fine. Awesome.
Okay, and because they're already in the chowder, you can just let it cook a little
Nice,
bit.
Jamie.
Okay, good job. Good job.
What do you got, some biscuits?
Oh, Jamie, yours look good.
The biscuits are knockoff Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster.
Wow. That's
So,
really good.
and also, just as an added thing, our co-op deli now sells cornbread.
Oh, that's right.
So
I
if you're
saw that.
coming and getting the soup, you can also pick up a slice of cornbread.
You guys home make the cornbread?
So I'm gonna, yeah. Oh, from scratch.
Awesome. Oof.
You want to try some? Yeah. So we can get like an in-house, like, hey.
Good job, Cindy. That looks great.
So the first one that we played is always like the tester. So if you when you continue to play, you're gonna get better. I don't know if you get.
How's it tasting,
Okay, good.
everybody? What are you doing, Dana?
Are you dancing? You better be dancing.
Spoon, he wants to go eat.
Oh, yes, yes. Please do. We don't want to keep you from your chowder while it's hot. Please eat.
Thanks, guys. I loved it. We're going to go eat our dinner.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie.
Oh my God. Remember to send me photos.
Yes.
Thanks, bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Great work.
Bye.
Thanks, Connie.
I can't believe I just walked into dinner.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Jamar.
Hey,
Yeah, thanks, Alexa.
Hey, thank you. Alexa, make sure you send me a
I just
photo,
took one.
okay?
It's on its way.
Awesome. Thanks, Alexa.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right, take care.
Bye. Patrick, how you doing?
Patrick bailed on us.
Hey, thank you. You're going to send me a photo, right? I think you muted.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unmute, Robert.
Oh, no, that was.
You're still muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just showing it.
Oh
Awesome.
yeah, that
Thank
looks
you. It looks
amazing.
great.
Thank you very much. Thanks for helping me make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember, a week early next month.
Bye.
All right, take care,
Bye.
Robert.
All right, I will.